Some of our new arrivals this week. How about the 1952 Chevrolet Styleline Deluxe Sedan? Cardinal red and white over white. 2-owner car from 1952.
Amazing.
That is 10 years older than moi. This thing was garage kept, known history, impeccable presentation, 235 cubic inch inline 6. I guess that would be the Blue Flame 6.
Kind of sporty, yeah.
Yeah, kind of sporty. 3-speed manual. Tree on the tree.
Yeah. What I love about this car is that it has, I don't know if it's called articulated hips, the fenders in the back, but not in the front.
Yeah, they're bulgy in the back.
But not in the front, so it's like very sporty. It looks like it's moving.
Yeah, it does. It's in motion even when it's standing
That's
still.
Exactly right.
So a wonderful car and a kind of an entry level to get into. A sedan is not the top of the heap when it comes to value. The convertibles or the 2-door hardtops come to mind of what, the ones that are going to be the most valuable. But it's a great car to drive. And I talk to people all the time that have these and say, when I'm driving, when I'm in the driver's seat, I can't tell if it's a 4-door or a 2-door or,
That's right.
It's just it's the same perspective, And a wonderful car and like I said, reasonable. And you can find all of these cars that I'm going to talk about on our website, classicautomall.com. How about the 1968 Datsun 2000 Roadster? Oh, man, I love these.
Yeah.
Pagoda red over black. Well, you said that sarcastically.
No, I don't.
Do you?
I like them too.
Yeah, do I prove it?
Do you really, though?
Do you really? Frame off restored, redone 2-liter 4-cylinder engine, 5-speed manual with a new clutch. Very rare model. You see the 1600s, but not quite as much the 2000s. They were just obviously a 2-liter versus a 1.6-liter for the 1600s, which I'm not sure the horsepower difference is 10 maybe or 11 horsepower difference. But but this one is nicely done and a great driver and one that you take to a show, you'll be the only one there.
That's for sure.
I mean, no question about it. And a lot of people don't understand or know that some of the Japanese imports started way earlier than the 80s when everybody kind of thought about Hondas and all that. Hondas were building cars, bringing to the United States in the 60s and winning in Formula One in the 60s. And we should have paid more attention to that. I think we would have, things would have been a little different. So we'll just leave it at that.
Okay.
All right. And the modern version of the Datsun 2000 is the 84 Pontiac Fiero Sport Coupe. Bright red over black and gray, 17,000 actual miles. 2 owners from new, just immaculately preserved. This has got a 2.5-liter 4-cylinder, 4-speed manual. Again, an affordable classic, something that you can enjoy. Oh, they're fun to drive, and they'll get a thumbs up everywhere you go, and you stop at the gas station, and everybody will want to know what it is. And Pontiac to a lot of people is foreign. They haven't seen.
And Fieros used to be all over the place. I mean, now it's rare to see one.
Yeah, you don't see them hardly at all anymore, and I don't know why that is. And of course, the last version is the '86, I believe it was.
The GT.
The GT with a 5-speed get rag manual, and it was the most power. And then they just stopped making it.
That's it.
We got it good, and then we quit.
But it's a mid-engine car, and the C8 is not the first mid-engine.
Right, exactly.
GM,
yeah, there weren't a lot of those around, so it's like for parts cars and things like that, they're just.
That's the problem, finding a fender for something or all that stuff comes into play when people want to collect something. They think, oh, if I ever buy this and I drive it and something goes wrong, how am I going to fix it? So, also a new arrival, the '68 Chrysler Newport, sky blue metallic over light blue. I love the body style of this car.
This car is, I didn't know anything about these until we got one, and I'm like, I have to have this car. Yeah. If space and money were no object, this would be in my collection just because it's so unique and wild.
It is so wild looking, and the color's good on it. It's that sky blue metallic over a light blue interior. Something about that body style is just really sexy. There's something about it.
So different.
And this thing's got a 440 in it.
Yeah, that helps.
So that is sexy too. With an A727 automatic. I mean, it's got the original interior. It's got, all the bells and whistles from the day. And let's talk about an underappreciated or underlooked upon car. I think those are going to surprise you in 5 or 10 years where people realize what they are and what they,
Yeah, and again, this is one of those cars you'd be the only one at the car show.
Absolutely.
The angles on this car is amazing, and frankly, it's reasonable.
Right, and there's nothing wrong with being the only one at a car show.
It's really good.
You go to some of these car shows and there's 30 of whatever you're driving, and that's okay. I mean, that's fine. Listen, there's strength in numbers, and people like the similar things, and there's a reason that Camaro's outsold Chrysler Newports or fill in the blank of any of that. But,
and Mopar designers were just such motorheads. I mean, putting 440, these big horsepower mills in these cars was just wow.
And then another interesting 1960s, kind of affordable. They're starting to get pricey. Is the AMC 1968 AMC AMX. It's black over black. And I'm telling you, black is a great color for an AMX. I don't think I've seen many of them in black.
No.
But that one really stands out. It's got the 290 cubic inch V8, 39,000 actual miles, long-term ownership, and a BorgWarner T10 manual. Blast to drive. Little pocket rockets. They were overlooked back in the day. I didn't know much about them when I was started getting into cars. And, I followed the path of Trans Ams and Camaros and that kind of thing. And I think if I'd have known about the AMXs or had any inkling of what they were, I think I would have paid more attention.
Yeah.
I wish I had too. I said we had a dealer in the next big city near me, and you just didn't pay attention.
No, they were just another car. So, and last but not least, the 1930 Ford Model A Sport Coupe, Elk Point green and Kiwani green over brown.
All right.
LeBaron body interior, 201 cubic inch inline four, which will basically run forever. It's got the correct colors and well restored. This is a nice car.
Yeah, I can't remember. I probably wrote it in the description what Kiwani green is.
Right,
because I didn't know what it was. I'm like, where do they get these names?
Yeah, the names were. I love the color names. That's why I always talk about them in here. They were just a lot of fun to talk about, and they had some interesting colors. And sometimes cars would be tricolored interiors and two tones on the exterior, which you don't hardly see anymore. I was driving by a car lot the other day, and I looked over, and it was a sea of gray and black and white and just nondescript. And there was one like a neon green, neon maybe, I don't know if it was a neon, but it was something little and small and bright green, and it stood out like a sore thumb, and maybe not in a bad way.
You've been listening to the Classic Auto Mall Show with your host, Stuart Howden.